So why do I do equity work? Why does anyone do equity work? I think everyone has a unique answer to that. But I wanted to just get on here and share a little bit about how I think about it and why it inspires me so much to do it. First, company's called Emerging Equity, and I thought I'd just say a little bit about where that came from. Some of you may know Adrienne Maree Brown. Some of you may follow her or really appreciate her work. I very much appreciate her work. And her book, Emergent Strategy, was a seminal book for me in my upcoming as an activist and when I was working specifically in racial equity and DEI. What I loved about her book was that she was looking to nature as a model for what equitable societies and equitable frameworks could look like. And that's what I wanted. And when I take a step back and think about what my team and I have built and created, for us, equity work isn't the end game. Equity isn't the end game. Equity is the vehicle through which we get to whatever end game we're trying to create. I like to think about equity as the frame, not the picture. And in my case, equity is a circular frame rather than a square one. And what I love about that is that if I think about equity as the vehicle, it means that I get to create something within that vehicle and not just focus on equity being the thing that I'm working towards, because what does that mean in the end? And I think that's sometimes why when we're all saying equity and trying to get a sense of what we mean by that, we all mean something different, because equity is really a process. It's not a product. One of the things I'll say about this in terms of how I think about this frame, something that we'll often say is we want to put impacted people at the center. I understand where that's coming from. I want to offer a reframe. If you could just go along with me, a visual, if you have a circle and you put someone in the middle, say yourself, and then you look out to the circle, how much of the circle can you see? You're only going to see about as much as your peripheral vision will allow, which means everything to the back of you is a blind spot. But what happens when you step onto the circle? How much of the circle can you see then? The whole thing. So when I think about how I like to position myself in equity, it's not that I want to be in the center or that I want to put impacted people in the center. What I want to do is decenter everyone so that everyone has the opportunity to view what would have potentially been their blind spots. That to me has been the key to developing empathy and clear communication, and also helping us unearth our assumptions. So, curious what you think about this free frame. Hope that you kind of get a sense of the circle, and love to hear your comments.